There is no feeling quite like holding your book in your hand. Yeah, a book. This is it right here. This is the actual book that showed up on my front porch in the fall of 2003. This book that had been an idea that I've been teaching on, that I've been speaking about, that I was passionate about, and now could reach more people than I would ever speak to live. There's just something about that feeling. Well, now, from 2003 to last year in 2018, when my last book came out, there have been 7 books. 6 I self-published. 1 got picked up by a publisher, so I also traditionally published that one, and then a 7th was traditionally published. So I have 5 self-published books and 2 traditionally published books, and I can tell you the process has changed massively from having to order 2,000 to get even a reasonable price to now being able to print on demand if you're self-publishing. The whole process of connecting and marketing, all that has all changed. And now over the years of writing, I have people every month asking me about cover design, asking me about layout, asking me about Kindle versus print book, asking me self-publishing, traditional, all those kinds of questions. And I finally put that together after having 3 people in the last 2 weeks ask me if I would help them with getting their first book out there. I decided, you know what, let's invite more than just these 3 together and walk through this together, because I've learned some things about the 3 components of getting your book out there. The first is writing it. How do you really determine your audience and hone in on that and clarify and really target that audience as you write? And how do you lay that out so that it can be consumed well? What's the length that it should be? Who should that be for? All that kind of writing stuff. And then getting the words on paper. How do you write? How do you start writing your book in a way that will help you finish it quicker and with a better result? So there's the writing part. Then there is the publishing part. There's so many different questions about not just traditional publishing versus self-publishing, but then in the self-publishing world, well, who does your book cover and how important is that? What should the spine look like? The back cover, if you're doing a print book, what does the image need to look like? What are my options as far as pricing of doing things myself versus having somebody do it for me? What about the layout? If you're going to have a physical book, then who actually puts the page numbers in and how do you do all that? And if you're going to just do a Kindle book, then what format does that need to be in? All these kinds of questions about the publishing, the creating process. So publish is that second component, but the third is sharing it. I'm assuming that you don't want to just write a book and publish a book that never gets read. So do you realize that the average self-published book only sells 300 copies in its entire lifetime? And most of those are to people with your same last name. So, but I believe that you can actually create and publish and share a book that is going to do more than that in the first couple months. There are so many things to navigate in that. I would love to be your guide in that, but what I'm doing is, because I've never taught it this particular way before, I've now taken everything that I've learned over the last 15, 16 years of writing and publishing and put that into this training that I want to walk through with a beta group of people. I'm looking for 10 to 20 people. I already mentioned that I've got 3 that have approached me in the last few weeks, and so they're already on board, but I'm looking for 10 to 20 people that want to get their book out there, that want to get it done, get it in print, and have it in a format that they can share it and spread their message. So if that's you, I want you to look below this video and fill out that application, because I want to figure out where people are and are they a right fit for this group? Are they willing to dive in and spend a little bit of time? It's not going to be a ton of time unless you've got to start from scratch with the writing piece, but it is going to be probably a couple hours a week of work to get this done in the first few months of 2020. So there's an application. I just want to figure out where everybody's at in there. If you're watching this on YouTube, then there's a link to where you can fill out that application. But I encourage you to fill it out, because what I didn't tell you at the beginning was that book remained an idea in my head for 7 years before I was actually holding it. And then the next book, again, 8 more years before the next one came out. Well, from 2011 to 2018, when my last one came out, that's when one of them got traditionally published and wrote 5 more. So all of that has now happened because the process has gotten simpler. But you need to get that idea out of your head, and I would love to help you. So if you would like to join me on this journey and be a part of this small group that I'm going to be coaching live through this process, fill out that application and let's do this together.